What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother, Son Soul X, in his joint. Check it out. Hit us up, www.kingandilife.com, for all our podcast info. Subscribe to whatever podcast platform that you choose. Also, hit us up, KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Email us your suggestions, your feedback, and all that good stuff. Tune in to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because we are all over all those social media platforms. Stay tuned for the good stuff. Yeah, we out.
All right. Yeah, but my biggest thing was being in those relationships, because I didn't fool around with anyone else or, try to sabotage or self-sabotage those relationships. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest thing that made me feel like I could never take those people back or be open to be in a relationship with them again. Because I gave you my all, I gave you my best, and you basically took it and threw it in the trash. So for me, I can never take you back.
Yeah, but as men, and I'm speaking for myself, mostly when I say this, mm-hmm. As men, just because we're not cheating, doesn't mean that we're giving our all. Just because sometimes we think we're not self-sabotaging a relationship doesn't mean that we aren't. Again, I can speak for me. It was situations where I'll go back to, and I think I told you, well, no, I was talking to my roommate about this situation, but I'll throw it out there. Mm-hmm. So back in, I want to say 2015. All right. So when did I leave my last wife? I left her 2004, 2015. But either case, 2015, I started seeing this chick. And it started out how we was talking. It was just, it was a thing. Me and her were seeing each other, whatever. Right. I told myself, this is a fun thing. I'm not getting caught up, blah, blah, blah. That's what it was. And I'm just going to speak from where I stood in. I'm not going to speak for whatever part she played in it. Right. I ended up, like, she came over one time. We did our thing, whatever. And then she happened to come over again. And then it happened to be where she was always at my crib. Mm-hmm. And I didn't change it. I didn't be like, yo, nah, we not rocking like this. I let it go. All the while I'm saying to myself, I'm good. I'm not getting caught up, blah, blah, blah. I'm still doing me. But it got to the point where I started having feelings for this chick. Mm-hmm. And having a conversation with her that, yeah, we together, we this, we that, blah, blah, blah. But again, all the while, I had 1 foot in the streets. Matter of fact, I had 1.5 foot in the streets. And, I was claiming, oh, I love you and this and that, and putting, taking pictures with her, posting on Facebook and this, that, and the other, as if it was really me and her like that.
Right.
And when I was around her, I played the role. But I never let my fun things go. I still had my fun things. I still had a line in the water. And then when my attitude did not adapt to the situation, it showed in my behavior towards her. I was not that same loving, soft-hearted person that I was when I started to fall for her. When I quote unquote let those walls down a little bit. And then when things really started hitting the fan, I was that angry dude. I had everything to blame her for, but I still was doing dirt. Um, it got to the point to where one time like something happened to her phone, and I had an extra phone. I gave it to her for her to use, and I didn't even log out of my Facebook Messenger out of that phone, and like chicks was sending me messages and stuff, and she was getting the messages. I got caught up with that. She still stuck around. Again, I'm not going to speak for whatever she was doing on her end. I'm saying what I was doing.
Right.
So things kept going. I ended up, my lease was ending, and I played the role so diligently that I was like, yo, my lease is up. I'm gonna go to the rental office, get a 2-bedroom, no, a 3-bedroom. Was it 2-bedroom? It was 2-bedroom. Yeah, 2-bedroom. Get a 2-bedroom, and we do this and we do that and blah blah blah. And I still played this role. And again, I'm still out doing my dirt. And you know, so to sum it all up, when things went way left, I still blamed her. I still was like, oh, she hurt my feelings. Oh, she broke my heart. Oh, she did this. Oh, she did that. And I never go back to her because like she had me on the floor crying like a little baby and this, that, and the other and whatever. But it was like I was doing mad dirt. Now, when things finally ended like it was all said and done, ended.
Right.
I still had feelings for this chick. Like I still had mad feelings for her. And it was to the point to where if we ever crossed paths in a conversation with a specific way, I would take her back. But at the same time, I was like, hell no, I wouldn't take her back because she did all this to me. She did that to me, knowing I was the one doing the dirt. I messed it up. You know what I'm saying? And again, yeah. I'm not going to speak about what she did, was possibly doing, or whatever, because I know she had her shit with her too. But I'm just focusing on me when we talk about going back to X, because I was not giving my all. I pretended it very well for a while, but I know I wasn't giving my all. So in a situation like that, would I go back to that ex? Hell no. Because I was horrible, and in some degrees, she was horrible.
Right.
But again, as a man, I look at that situation. I not honestly, even though I still blame her for certain things that she did, mainly breaking my heart, I still gotta own up to the fact that I was the catalyst to her breaking my heart. I did the dirt. I mad dirt, mad whatever, to cause that relationship to go that way. So when I look at it, it's like as a man, sometimes we got to sit back and really be honest with ourselves about saying, well, I gave my all and she did this, so hell no, I would never go back to her.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think by you keeping that one foot in the street, that was kind of like a self-defense mechanism subconsciously?
Hell yeah. It was okay. So it was not only a defense mechanism, it was also arrogance and ego, because as far as I knew, I was the lucky one to snag her. That's right. How I looked at it, because she had her own she had her own things going on. So for me to snag together. No, she didn't have her shit together. Oh, she had her shit she had her own shit going on. So again, my ego, my defense was up, because it was like, I'm not getting too wrapped up in her, because I see the recognize where you at when you interact with people. And at the same time, I was like, oh, I'm the big bad wolf. I bagged that one. And I know Jokers is eyeballing that. But see, I had my head in the clouds and my head in the sand at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, it was defense mechanism, but also it was my ego and my pride.
So here's my thing though. Just speaking about the ego alone, I think your ego is kind of like a self-defense mechanism.
And a lot of times, yeah.
Because again, we use our egos sometimes as that voice in our ear that kind of pick me up. Oh, you gonna let him get away with that? Or
right.
You gonna let this thing beat you?
Right.
But when it comes down to relationships, sometimes I think we put our egos in the back seat. Meaning when we get hurt, it's because we put our ego in the back seat and no, I got this shit. No, you ain't got to tell me to look out for this and that and that and this. I got this. Mm-hmm. I believe in this person. I trust this person. I got this. But then later on, you realize, damn, my ego was probably telling me the best thing to do, which is not stop my shit, meaning my dirt. So I've been in those situations before where it's kind of like, I wished I would have kept doing the shit that I was doing. And if I would have did those things, I probably would have been all right. But because I stopped doing those things, that's what got me in trouble, meaning hurt.
That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one because most of us men at a certain maturity level think that way. Because I know there's a couple times I said, had I still been doing my dirt, I wouldn't have got my heart broke. But the thing about it is we have to come to a point in our lives where we have to put that mentality away. And when I say put it away, like we have to put it away, because it's easy for us to get caught up in a situation as men where we say, all right, okay, it's easier for us as men to get caught up in not balancing our ego and our pride properly. It's like we don't have to throw it all the way in the back seat, our ego and pride. We could keep it in the middle seat, but a little back, so to where it does not impair us from being able to see and feel what we're doing as we make our way through relationships.
Right.
Cause yeah, I've been in situations to where it was like, had I still been doing my dirt, I wouldn't have got my feelings hurt. But then at the same time, had I still been doing my dirt, I would have been hurting her feelings. And then as a man, we have to be conscious of, what do I want with this person at this point in my life, right here, right now? Because if we say, I want to be with this woman, then that's what we need to do. If we say, I don't want to be with this woman, then that's how we need to roll. If we say, I'm not sure, that's when we have to really, really, really think about our next moves going forward. Because if we're not sure, that means we have the possibility to say yes, and we also have the possibility to say no. We have to put ourselves into position to where when the fork in the road comes up, we can take a right or left without being like, damn, I should have turned that way, or damn, I should have turned that way. And that's sometimes a thing that we have as men have a problem with when we're young.
Right.
And I'm not even going to put it on male role models or this or that or whatever the case may be. X all of that out of the equation. As an individual in that moment, we have to rely on what we know and what we're comfortable with at that time.
All right. So let me ask you this then. I actually got a couple of questions, but this is one I'm going to lead with. Do you think men are born or made? Meaning being in that male energy, being the best version of a man you can be. Do you think that comes with just being born, or do you think over time you come into your own?
Of course, in time you come into your own. And I say that because for the longest time I was awkward as shit when it came to women. Like I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the courage. Um, I was not open to pursuing women or women of a certain uh pedigree or whatever, for
Right.
lack of a better term. But as I got older and as I had my experiences and this, that, and the other, when it came to women, I came into the man that I eventually am. And it's like I got rid of the childish um initial thoughts, like we were talking. I'm gonna keep my guard up and I'm gonna blame her if shit go left, knowing I was possibly the wrong one. So yeah, we grow into that. We grow into it from our experiences and observations of other people, and if we're fortunate enough to be taught certain things.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, simply because um, I feel like in today's society, right, real men recognize real men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not one of those things that um, you just, but let me take that back. You can just look at someone as a man and you get that sense, okay, now that guy right there, he's a real man.
Mm-hmm.
That one right there, I'm not too sure about. And it's simply based off how that man carries himself.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing I'll say is because you were born, a male, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that necessarily means you're going to grow into a man.
Right. Sure.
Because there are still some young men or old men who are still doing the same goddamn thing they were doing in high school.
Right.
So again, that's not a shot at them. That just means they found a frame of mind that they like and they just sticking to it. So whatever suits
Yeah.
you, whatever you eat, don't make me shit. But
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. I just find that with some relationships, again, you gotta take the good with the bad, but then there's always going to be that situation where no matter how much you give of yourself to the next person or that person you're in a relationship with, it's just not going to be enough. And that's,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with you. It's just the conditioning of that person and their life experiences. They're looking for something that you, again, may not be able to give them. You're close to it, but you're not right there on it. So that's where they might find the fault with either the relationship or with you. But again, it's not your fault. It's just for whatever reason they have that issue.
I can agree with you to an extent. Um, by 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 probably about 80% of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then there's that percentage of and this probably goes on to the marriage or serious relationship field, to where if you're not a good leader, if you're not a good leader in that relationship situation, then that person may have the mindset of, why am I going to follow this person if they're not presenting good leadership? um and for us men, that takes us really knowing ourselves and being aware of the situation, because hey, it could be a situation to where, hey, everything good, we both comfortable, blah blah blah, I'm thinking one thing, this person thinking another thing, and then shit just hit the fan, and it's like, well, that person didn't do wrong, I didn't do no wrong, but it might be some minor things. This person may not be conforming exactly to what we as men want. And it may not be because of them. It might be, again, it might be because of us. Or it may not be because of us. It may be because that person is just who they are. But at the end of the day, what I have found that I was not doing in those situations, I didn't care enough to see what the real issue was. Like, like you're saying, that person could be, but I didn't care enough to look into why that person was that way or why that person changed or this, that, and other. Because it was like, you know what? I'm not getting my heart hurt, so you got to go. Or, um, yeah, something like that. So yeah, but again, it's like you said, that person can be that way, and that's just what it is. That person can be damn near perfect, but it might be that one little thing or those two, three little things that to be like, you know what? All right, whatever. But again, it's a dancing act that if we're not fully committed to, then it's easy to throw blame either way, and it's easy to point out who's wrong, and it's easy to say and be 100% spot on who's wrong in that. But again, if both people aren't committed, then you run into that situation, and then you go back to your ex, and you look at those little damn things, you might be like, hell no. Hell no, because that little thing was the nail in the coffin for you. And it could have been something so small.
So let me ask you this then. Have you ever had a relationship where you love someone, but you guys just could not be together because maybe you guys come from a different background? Meaning, maybe you're more laid back,
yes,
happy-go-lucky, and then the other person, they're more
too
hyper
serious,
or want to be in the streets, or situations like that.
Yeah, I've been there before. Those are the situations that are, for me, are very frustrating because it may be like, damn, I love this person, but this person is just, she drank too much, or she like to go out too much, or she like to eat out too much, or she keep a car sloppy. It could be a number of things, or you lay back and she's just too rowdy, and it's like, yeah, man. Those are the situations that are kind of frustrating. But then again, it boils down to what choices are we making as men. We can't always blame the woman. But we can blame the woman. We could blame okay, so if let's just say as a man, I'm laid back, whatever case may be, and I talk to this woman and we getting to know each other, and I don't like all that stuff. If I'm not telling her that and I'm just letting her do whatever, that's my fault. Now, if it's a situation where I'm telling her that and she just like, I'm gonna do me anyway, that's her fault. So yeah, it be them times where you have that woman where something is not clicking, but you love her, and it's like, nah, I can't do
it. Yeah, one of the most serious relationships I ever had was with this young lady, where I'm more laid back now. I like, having fun and cutting up and doing the things that I do. Right. But I just didn't have that mind frame of I want to go out every fucking weekend.
Right.
Or every time and turn around, there's a party going. Let's go to the party.
Right.
And although I loved her very much, I had to let that go. I had to let her go because at the end of the day, I think it would have been more destructive if I would have tried to hold on to her, because in order for us to stay together, she definitely would have had to change. Yeah. Meaning your ass ain't gonna be out in these streets like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just came to that realization. I can't change you. You're not ready to change. We love each other, but there's just too much in between us that's not going to allow us to stay on the same page or to be together like that.
Right. 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 Right.
So,
So, so let me throw this question at you,
all
because
right.
this is a situation that a lot of us men find ourselves in, and I'm not gonna say it's a dangerous game, but it's a hazardous game. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So sometimes we find ourselves in this predicament where you go back to your ex, when the ex is a side piece, and you love this side piece, like you really really feeling this side piece, but this side piece is just like, I'm not gonna say she's horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes with the territory because she's a side piece. You get your feelings involved with her, and because she is the side piece, there are things that she wants from you that you just can't give her, and it's like you feeling her, but then it gets to the point where it's like you get fed up and you got to break it off. But it's like, damn, you think about it, think about it, think about her. If you were ever in a situation like that, do you think you can take that side piece back?
I don't think I could.
Mm.
Um, way back in my younger days, way back,
Mm-hmm.
I was involved in a situation like that, where I actually thought she was the side piece, but come to turn out, I was her side piece.
I had a situation like that too.
You know what I'm saying? I thought she was the side piece, but after time passed by, I found out I was the motherfucking side piece,
Bruh.
And the crazy part about it was, for me, was I thought that our relationship was deeper than that. Meaning,
Bruh.
I just felt like we could talk to each other about anything and everything. Like, if she had somebody in her life, I didn't really give a fuck like that.
Right. Right.
So I was like, if you got somebody, just tell me. It is what it is. What you and that person does is what you and that person does, and what me and you do is what we do.
Exactly.
But for some reason, she felt this need to keep that shit hidden from me.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part about it was basically like, anytime I put that call in, goddamn shit went through.
Right.
There's no disappointment or if, ands, or buts. So it came to turn out that, after a while, I started seeing shit, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you tell me? We have no secrets. And I'm steady asking her, like, if you got a man, just say you got a man. It's cool.
Oh my God.
There's no problem. I promise you, I'm not upset. But she kept lying about it. So, and still to this day, I have no idea why the fuck she was lying about it. But eventually I had to let her go, because I can't deal with someone where we're supposed to be in this side relationship together, but you lying to me. We're supposed to be able to kick it, or be truthful with each other regardless, because we know we both got a situation.
Bruh. Yeah.
I couldn't deal with the lies, man. Don't lie to me.
Let me tell you, I had a situation like that back. Let me see. I got back from Iraq in 2005. I met this chick on what was the name of the damn? I can't remember the dating site that it was. But I met her on a dating site, and while I was in Iraq, didn't put too much energy into it, whatever the case may be. I get back. So we hook up in 2006. And, again, I didn't take it too seriously. But we had started seeing each other, going out, had sex, started kicking it, and we became a couple. And we was together for like, I think we was together for like probably like a year. and some change before shit went left.
Right.
But shit, I'm thinking I'm her man. But again, I still had a foot in the street. So but yeah, I was feeling her. It's like, you know, we was kicking it hard. I was at her crib, she was at my crib. We was doing this, we was doing that. And so what happened was, the first thing that happened, I was at a house one day, and I think I told this story before, but she left her computer on and her email was open.
Oh, okay.
Me being curious, goddamn George, I'm looking through her email. And she's emailing this dude who's in Korea, because they were both active duty Army at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This joke. So she's emailing him back and forth and love you this and miss you that and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know, when you swallow and you get that big lump in your throat.
Yeah.
I had that big lump in my throat. So my retarded ass, I forwarded all them goddamn emails to my email and deleted the forwards so out of her sent box so she couldn't see them.
Right.
And then I confronted her about it. She gave me this little sad song and dance story